Lead rope soloing is one of my side pursuits in rock climbing that highly appeals to my engineering brain. Self-belaying on the sharp end creates both a test of athletic skills and rope system mastery. In 2021, I red pointed Father Time, a 20-pitch 513B in Yosemite, as a 5-day ground-up solo quest. At that time, I had only lead rope solo free climbed, a few 12 minuses, and improvised the systems mostly on the go. It was no doubt one of my coolest rock climbing experiences. I have since been scheming about future solo quests, but wanted to level up my methods first. I hope to be able to climb near my limit without fighting my ropes, and also be comfortable taking huge repeated wingers like these. Total Recall is a pumpy 13C at my home sport crag, a proving grounds for system improvements. This line is a great stress test, with pure resistance climbing and an area dead point crux well above the previous bolt. This is a basic primer for my solo red pointing system. It starts with the inline anchor stick clipped to the first two bolts. The upper anchor draw is a triple locking steel beaner with a quick link on the rope side. The quick link allows rope movement, but creates a knot blocking backup if the first bolt somehow unanchored itself. The quick link also has a rope cinching rubber widget to allow the first bolt to be cinched upward. At the first bolt, I used another triple locking steel carabiner and an alpine butterfly to fix the rope. This clip also shows a prototype bungee draw I've been working on to soften the static catches of the fixed rope anchor. However this first bolt is attached, cinching it upwards provides significant peace of mind against cross-loading carabiners. With the rope end fixed, I set up my self-belay kit. I personally used an unmodified Grigri Plus clipped upside down to my belay loop and then held upwards off a minimal chest harness. This is absolutely misuse of the belay device, so you are on your own with risk assessment. I do a quick locking check, setting up the Grigri as if I was going to wrap down off the line I just fixed. Smooth self-belaying with the Grigri comes down to keeping the brake side rope at a certain weight, creating what is called a cache loop. The weight of the rope is light enough to allow auto-feeding while moving upwards, but is heavy enough to engage the friction-based camming to catch a fall. For hard free climbing, I like to pre-cache my rope in clove-hitched loops, which also serves as a backup if my Grigri fails. Surprisingly, this added rope weight and bulk doesn't interfere with the climbing as much as it looks. Again, I go into much deeper detail on my personal website for how to set up these clove hitches. Total Recall starts with a V5 crimp boulder right off the ground, so I have a high bolt stick clipped. After the particularly fingery intro, there's about 7 bolts of resistance climbing, where every hold is about 1 pad flat edge, with big moves and not a single jug. Clipping is the biggest difference compared to a standard belay. The rope needs to be fed downward through the Grigri first, and then clipped high only after enough slack is pulled up. It is worth a good 3 or 4 pumps downward, as it is a real bummer to come up short on slack. As each cache loop runs out, a quick one-handed motion dumps a clove hitch and begins the next cache. Besides this added motion every 15 feet or so, I move upward with an auto-feeding rope. About every other draw, you'll notice that I cinch the rope after clipping. These draws also have rubber rope cinching widgets similar to the Quick Link anchor draw. This lets you manage the slack in the system as you go, being sure the rope has not unknowingly backfed into a big pile of slack below you. This is a definite danger when lead soloing, which could create unexpectedly huge falls. This also holds the entirety of my rope weight on the wall side. While all that rope hanging off my harness looks cumbersome, in reality, I don't have much more resistance than I would with the weight of a lead rope dragging through quick draws. For especially high clips like this one, I'll sometimes do a compound motion where I'll feed slack with one arm, do half a move, and then clip high with the other. Crux of total recall comes at the 60-foot mark. An awkward reach left gains a small crimp side pull, and then a little foot dance sets you up with a right hand Gaston crimp. With neither hand down pulling, it takes tricky smear opposition to pop upwards off your toes to a good pinch. There's a bolt here at your waist, but you really can't clip it until after doing the hard move. At 513C, this sport line is my new highest grade for a lead rope solo red point. Of course, sport cragging alone is not the end goal, but I'm pleased with my systems and ready for something off the ground.